you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibilities? Well, Alibaba had them 40 thieves.
It's okay. This wine is going through me. All right.
Told you can't handle his drink.
It's actually really going through me. I'm good. Welcome back to the Curious Canvas. We are your hosts, Jem and PK, and we are on episode 16.
Last week we made the mistake and we said episode 14, but it was actually 15.
So it's because Jem introduced wine to the show now, so it's just it's running through me. Anyways, salute to that. So today we'll be reviewing Rhea and the Last Dragon, which I feel like for people who are in the Southeast region would really love this film. It represents so many different cultures in one movie. You watched it only recently though, right?
Yeah, just the other day. And before you even ask me what I rate it, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 already. Okay. I haven't watched a Disney movie in a while that from the start was compelling all the way to the end. The story, the animation.
Even the voice cast was perfect too.
Yeah.
So just for a quick retrospect, it stars Kelly Marie Tran, Awkwafina as Sisu, and Kelly Marie Tran plays the title character, Rhea, as well as Gemma Chan as Namari, who plays the villain. I guess kind of the villain. Yeah. Yeah. So expect spoilers in this film, but pretty much at the start of the film, Rhea and her
spoiler
father,
alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. In the start of the film, they're protecting a dragon's gem, and when it breaks, the what's it called? The Druids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Harry Potter or something.
Yeah. What?
I don't know.
The Druids come and
like Harry Potter.
Wait, they don't turn anyone to stone?
No, but what are those things called?
That's called
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
They're like ghosts.
Anyway, so oh wow, I'm losing my train of thought right now.
Yeah, the Druids.
Yeah, the Druids. We take this?
Yeah, no, keep going. Yeah, the Druids.
I'm good with bourbon and everything else. Okay.
Yeah, the Druids.
I'm trying to think of
they came.
Yeah, they came and they turned everyone to stone. They turned everyone to stone.
But their anti thing is water.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think of the story now because it's because there's like 4 or 5 nations, right?
Yeah. In the movie, there's 5 Southeast Asian nations or cultures within the movie.
Yeah, which they called. Wait. Tails, Talon, Fangs, Heart, and.
You're not doing it in the right way. So fangs, heart, spine.
Oh yeah, wait. No, Fangs, Heart. No, Talons. It'd be.
Wait, let me search it.
Okay. No, I got it here. Wait, it is. Wait. Oh, I don't have it. You watched the movie too.
Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, I didn't even know it was out until you mentioned it. I didn't see much advertising about it or marketing from Disney's side. But before we even start and before you even ask me, I rate the movie already a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, it's pretty high. I definitely rate it pretty high too.
Yeah.
Pretty much a quick just view of the movie. It's pretty much Rhea is pretty much looking for all the dragon stones again to collect to save the world from the Druids, which is the Druids pretty much turn everyone into stone, and Rhea's just trying to save the world with Awkwafina, who plays the dragon Sisu in the film. I like it because it shows a lot of Asian, especially Southeast Asian representation.
Yeah.
I mean, especially 2 people, one who's half Vietnamese, you're Filipino, and
Mhm.
even from the get-go, I thought Rhea was Filo,
Mm.
just because when she was younger, and she was spoiler alert, by the way, when she was practicing with her dad to retrieve the stone,
Yep.
she was fighting with what's those?
Arnis, which is a Filipino traditional stick fighting. I remember when I was younger, I learned a bit of it when I was doing at Taekwondo, and then I have family in California. Their dad, shout out to Janelle and Jared. The dad is like a full, what do you call it? Like a master
Oh, okay.
at Arnis, and like he teaches that out there. But it is cool to see all the little things that we saw. Oh, that is big part of our culture, our Filipino culture, or not even just Southeast Asian culture. It is really good to see on Disney, which has always predominantly been growing up. You know, we've never really seen ourselves.
Well,
there.
I don't think I've ever seen. I'm trying to think if there's any Viet or even Philo animations that I could remember. Like, what about you guys? Do you have
The
any?
only thing that we had was on Finding Nemo. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Yeah.
The director of Finding Nemo or producer or something was Filipino. So P. Sherman is P. Sherman.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, that's the only Filipino.
Is that actually a known fact? Really?
Yeah, that's a known fact.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we had that I know of Filipino-wise with Disney.
That's like a
And
great
animation,
That's a
yeah.
great Easter egg.
Yeah.
All right. So even though you said 10 out of 10, do you feel like it's on par with Mulan?
I think it's better than the
I don't mean
Mulan.
the new one. I don't mean the new one. I mean the original. Because like
On par, yeah.
I'd say it's on par. I'd say even to a point it could be better.
It could be better. The story, for me, the story was great.
Yeah.
I
think it's like
very compelling. The only thing is, you have to wait. Hindsight is a key to everything. So we don't know how these kids are going to react to the songs that are on this, because songs on Mulan are classics, you know, Reflection. Yeah, well, hindsight, we're going to have to see. Things will take time to see how it ages. But, you know, there's a lot of things that you can really take away from this movie. There's a lot of Disney thematic scenes, just like when, spoiler alert, she was the whole town or the whole city, I don't know which city they're from, but they're running away. I'm going to be very casual with this. I don't know the names of a lot of stuff, but they're running away, and then the dad like throws her off into the water to save her. And it's kind of like to me, kind of like a Lion King feel to it.
Oh
like
no,
Mufasa,
definitely. That was definitely very unexpected.
Yeah.
You could see
you
could see like just a child just like, Dad, where are you going?
Yeah.
You know,
That same feel Simba felt.
Yeah.
So it had that. That was a feel right from the get-go of the movie.
I like one thing. I don't know if they tried showing this, and it's kind of, I guess, a little bit of a dark side of the movie. Not that it makes it bad. Rhea at the start of the film is very trusting. She
Innocent.
Innocent.
Like a childlike
Innocent,
innocence. Yep.
So at the start, her father, who's pretty much the chief of Heart.
Yeah.
So it goes Fang, Talon, Spine. Wait, Spine. What's the other one? And Tail? No, there's one more I'm missing. Chelsea, help me out with that one. Wait. It's
So
Fang, Heart,
Talon,
Talon.
Spine.
and tail.
Oh, Tail. Yeah. Tail. That's it. Yeah.
Wine.
There's 5 nations, and 4 of them have been at war. Heart's the only one that's neutral to all of them, and the father brings all 5 nations together inside Heart, which is also that's the symbol. Anyway, when
This is our like. We'll be walking around whenever we see each other. That first scene with all the different cultures of Southeast Asian, it has like a very strong depiction of power that even runs till this day within Southeast Asian cultures. You know, a lot of like Vietnam wants to be the best one, or the Philippines has always wanted to be the best one. Like you can see that in that
Oh,
first scene.
You could definitely see that. I mean, like, just
And then they're like, oh, why would we trust, even from the start, like, why would we trust you from all the history that they've had? Why would we trust the Vietnamese guy? Why would we trust these Filipinos, you know?
We have this conversation, obviously, outside all the time, but, like, yeah, there's always racism out everywhere, but it gets really racist when it comes to just the Asian culture itself. Like, whether it's Vietnam thinking they're better than Philippines or Filipino people, or just in general. Because I know a lot of elder Viets who are racist to other nationalities. Like other Asian nationalities.
They call us mudbloods and that.
Yeah, no, mudbloods. That is true. I remember like I had one family member before back in the day, who was a Viet. I was dating a Filipino girl, and he was like, "She's it's not gonna last. She's dirty blood." and I clicked it at him as well. He wasn't wrong that we didn't last, but that's not the point here.
Yeah.
But I like that depiction as well. But at the start, when she was young and she's talking to Namari, Rhea, she trusts her completely, and then she introduces her to the Dragonstone, which no one should be visiting the Dragonstone except for people.
She was so trusting right at the start, huh? 'Cause that's how we are. That shows when we're young, kids aren't born to be. Kids aren't born racist. They are taught it. So you can tell. What's the other girl's name? Not Rhea. The other girl. The influence of her mother on her. Yeah. That's why she would have never been like that if her mum wasn't, feeding it into her kid that, we need to don't trust that family, or don't trust those type of people, because But kids, they're so trustworthy. They love each other at such a young age. It's only taught. They're never born with it.
With Rhea, when she gets older though, after everything happens,
that's because of experience.
Experience.
Yeah.
She doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
That's a bit sad. But like, I have a question for you, and this doesn't mean you're a bad person or anything. But would you say you're a trusting person? Because it doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Yeah, of course. No, but it's true. It's hard to.
In this world, in this day and age now, it's so hard to trust people.
Very hard to trust people, even some people that you're close with. Like, I trust people in ways, but then there are things that you just can't.
There's levels. I think it comes in levels.
And this movie shows it, but this is a Disney movie. They're trying to get the innocence, and they're trying
to understand
bring the child
what is out there. What is out there?
They're trying to send that message. It's we'll get into it, but it is based a lot on trust.
You and Amari have a lot in common. Just villains.
Here we go.
See, I'll be Rhea. I'll be like, come see the
Probably, stone. Yeah. See, at first, it's because of it. It's kind of like what it is. Chelsea was saying it as well, that it gives you a lot of Black Panther vibes between the Black Panther and Michael B. How they kind of are from the same tribe.
Well, they are. Technically, they are.
Yeah, same tribe. They both want the same thing, but they want it in different ways. Yeah. They're going about it in different ways.
I don't know.
But that's like anyone in the world. Like, I don't want to bring politics into it, but everyone has their own views and ways of doing a thing, but they don't want to see the other person's view. So they'll go ahead and they always think that their way is right.
Yeah.
But they're all going about it the same. Like they all want the same thing, right? From when they were young, they both love that dragon Sisu. They just want that little spirit ball thing.
Yeah.
And then they want to just bring it back to save the world, or in their eyes, but in their own way.
No, I get that.
Right?
Yeah, I can understand that part. I don't know, but as a movie, I like all the characters. I feel like all the characters are very lovable.
That's right.
I do feel like, I don't know, Rhea's character I like the most, just because you could definitely feel they definitely put her in a great light where she doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Only person she trusts was the dragon.
Yeah.
And that was just mainly because, okay, you're not human, so I can trust you. That's how I looked at it anyway. Everyone else, though, just like, I don't trust you. Don't say this to this kid. Like, I know he seems nice and everything, but you don't know
Well, she was
him.
trusting the monkey and the baby and stuff, when she was going through, and the big guy and the guy on the boat. Like she was, I feel like she
It was a slow progress.
Yeah, I didn't think she was that spiteful. I I do think, she was always thinking in the back of her head. I keep forgetting her name. The other girl.
Oh,
Her.
Namari?
Yeah, Namari. Yeah, she was always thinking of her in the back of her head. What I liked about it as well was there was a lot of elements of other Disney classic films. Like I already mentioned, The Lion King, but then Sisu kind of felt like Mushu and Genie combined.
I gotta disagree with that.
Really? I thought it was.
I know. I feel like this movie stands by itself.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
You know how there's certain movies that does give you those vibes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the scene that we talked about just then, where the father throws him off. Yeah, it's definitely the same emotional feel. Mufasa
feel.
probably would be obviously a lot more powerful and
Yeah.
impacting.
He didn't seem.
I'm not
very
gonna say this wasn't as obviously. I think it's mainly because he turned into stone though. So I knew he wasn't gonna die, like Mufasa died.
powerful. Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying sorry with Mushu.
Yeah, I just thought the characters were kind of like it had that Disney element of the other characters with Mushu and Genie together, of Sisu, and the whole trying to get all the little gems back together was kind of like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, no, you know what? I can agree. That is true. That is true.
Because they were all coming from different. Yeah, they were having to get it in different worlds to bring
Yeah.
it together so that they could save the world.
I liked all the worlds though. Oh, by the way, the whole all the Providence.
The
All, yeah,
provinces. Let's say
all the
provinces
yeah.
for-
All of them make up Kumandra. I should have said that at the start, but they all
Yeah.
make up Kumandra. But
And that's what the dad wanted.
yeah, I like though that every place was different.
Mm.
Like one place was kind of desert, the other place was actually let's just bring them all. There was one place I don't know which one it is, but it could be
The one that was kind of like a floating town in Thailand. That one?
yeah. That reminded me of Thailand so much.
Yeah.
Or even like when they were floating to go to Spine, where like we were snowing and everything. I don't know. I was getting massive feels of like, oh, Vietnam, the rice fields.
Yep.
You know, you could see a lot. Like, do you see anything with Philippines?
What about tail? Well, Vietnam and Philippines are very similar in a way. When they go on the boat, and then there's all those rocks, like in Palawan, or I don't know where it is in Vietnam, but I've seen people post it up on the Instagram when they go traveling, that all the islands and the boats that they take.
Yeah. I just found out, by the way, too. You said this because I didn't know you guys have hats like that.
Yeah, we got hats. The rice field farmers have those hats. I thought it was a Vietnamese hat.
Yeah, I always thought it was a Vietnamese hat
because
too.
isn't that guy from Mortal Kombat Vietnamese? Yeah? Raiden?
I mean,
Is he Viet?
I don't think
Is
it's
he Viet?
I don't think it's Viet.
Why has he got the hat then?
I don't know.
He's Viet.
I don't know. He's Viet.
Is he not?
No, I don't think it's Viet. I mean, he could be.
He looks like a cunt that eats an amnung.
Wine.
But yeah, they go into what's that first place they go into? We don't want to ramble on, but they definitely showed different types of places in Southeast Asia. I remember when they went into that city that you were talking about. They showed the monkeys and the kids. Well, first they saw that little baby,
Yeah.
and the baby looked all innocent, and then Raya trusted her, like wanted to. What did Raya want to do?
Oh, I want to take care of it. Like
Take care of
where's
it?
the parents at?
Oh yeah. And then that baby had her monkey friends, and they stole one of the a few of the gems off Raya.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't really get mad at them because they're all only they're only a product of their environment. What it is, they're just showing what happens in Southeast Asia when you see street kids that are just trying to make a living because they've got absolutely nothing. So
that happens a lot. That
a
happens
lot. They
of
walk
times.
around. They'll bag snatchers in Philippines shops. They just go around the shops. You leave your bag a little bit at the mall. You
Yeah.
leave it here, gone.
Or like,
Or-
I mean, even or in Vietnam, it's happened before, where like people will run up and try to run on the taxis.
Yeah, or on the
On the bikes,
on the
yeah, on the
jeepneys and
motorbikes,
that
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
grab shit off,
Yeah, and
off
then-
your
yeah, then they'll
motorbikes.
run.
Yeah, so yeah, you can't really get mad at those kids. They're just you see that they're just a product of their environment. So they depicted that well in the movie as well.
So I know there's a lot of things you do like. Is there anything that you don't like about the movie?
No.
I do. There's a lot. All right, there are great things about the movie.
Yeah.
I kind of wish they more, and I kind of wish they explained more about the dragons, like where were they from and everything.
Oh yeah, the
'Cause,
background
I
story.
mean-
There was so many characters to be able to really focus in
Yeah,
on.
because obviously they're mainly focusing on Namari and Rhea, right? And I felt like they did perfect jobs on both of those sides.
Yeah, and then
They did
but there was
great.
so many side characters as well.
Yeah. With the dragons though, like we both just found this out that there's a water dragon in Philippines. I didn't know that. Like I mean I know
Or like a mythological
yeah,
that they
yeah.
always talk about. No, I didn't know that. Shout out to all the TikTok and YouTube personalities that really talk about Filipino culture or Southeast Asian culture. Because without you guys, we wouldn't keep the ball rolling. Because I don't know, my parents don't really tell me about those mythological creatures and that.
I mean I guess it's just a
Yeah, they just don't think about it because we're here.
no, but I see this though. Like after you watch it, though, you're definitely gonna be like, Dad, like, did you?
There's a lot of things that we don't know and has never been passed down because maybe
Well,
maybe they don't think about it as well.
It's a myth though. Like I mean, you have to be a really like into that type of, you know,
Yeah.
like we're into Disney and everything. So I feel like when we have kids,
Oh yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
talking
yeah.
about all types of stories,
yeah.
you know. But back in their generation, they probably didn't have that.
No, they were just growing up trying to make it out.
Yeah.
You know,
I
they
ain't
were.
got time to watch Disney right now.
Well, not even Disney, just like really getting to learn your tradition and your culture,
Yeah.
and then being able to talk about it to other people.
That's true.
Yeah. I like how when we were talking about each island, it really represented the wealth gaps and the people's living.
Yeah.
What's up? Wait, what happened?
Nothing.
Wait, what happened?
Nothing. I was holding in a cough.
Oh, right.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
no, because you go to the different islands. What was that one that Namaru, whatever her name is? Fang, yeah. Where they lived, you could tell that they were the high-end, rich. You know, in the Philippines, there's the poor, there's the middle class, and then there's the super uber rich people in the Philippines that have everything. And and you were telling me earlier as well, that kind of reminded you of people in Vietnam that are super, super wealthy. You could tell the way that she was talking. It wasn't that she was condescending. It's just she was born into that
Like
life.
I'm better than you. It's just like,
It's just
No,
they
but
were born into that life. It's like
a
a social class thing.
yeah. I mean, like it's still bad, but I feel like so many people know people like that though. Like
It's like, it's because they're uneducated.
Yeah,
You know that
yeah.
that's how they talk. It's because
I love how
they're
I love how you
uneducated.
said that when you had the wine. Like it's just. Another thing I liked about it, and you could definitely see the Asian influences with
martial arts.
martial arts. You saw the Muay Thai fighting. Not even just the fighting part.
From Thailand, by the way.
Even when Rhea as a kid was going into where the gemstone is kept, before she even went inside the house, she took off her shoes.
Oh yeah,
she
takes
took
off her shoes.
chinelas,
Before.
you know.
That's what we do all the time.
Yeah, like
Except for here in PK, is Australian house.
well, all my shoes are there. You need to take your shoes off.
My bad.
Anyway, oh, thank you. And for all the ladies that come over here, do the same.
But you got a missus.
Anyways, so anyway, but or even like when they were on the boat and they were like and they were all eating, like that brought everyone together because food brings everyone together.
Yeah. Like we were talking about that.
Yeah.
How I don't know how other Southeast Asian countries. Philippines is different. We've been ranked the #1 emotional country in the world. As in, we show our emotions.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I could tell every day.
I'm not ashamed of it. Wear your heart on your sleeve. But some countries, and I'm sure people that will watch this, a lot of Asian countries Chinese. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Singapore ranked the absolute last in showing emotion, but a lot of Asian countries don't show emotion to each other. They're like they're parents to kids. They don't hug, they don't say I love you. But ways that they do show it in Asian culture is by saying, "Have you eaten?"
No, 100%.
Or
100%.
"Are you hungry? Come eat." You know, like that's the show of love in Asian culture. So you do see that when they bring all the food on the boat with the either pho, hot pot, sinigang. I don't know what it was, but you see they were all happy. They were sitting down. They showed the different types of food, like at the start with the glutinous rice, Vietnamese with mango and.
No, but no, I get that. I get that though. So I mean, just for example, like my, so I was mainly raised by my Maltese grandparents.
Yeah.
But when my grandparents split up, my granddad remarried a Vietnamese lady, and when she was with us, we talked here and there. She knew I loved her. She knew I loved her. She knows. I knew she loved me. But a lot of times we didn't really talk that much. But she came up to me a lot of times like, "Hey, are you hungry?" And then I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. Like I felt like that was her way of just saying, "I love you."
Yeah.
And a lot of Asian, and I know, especially Vietnamese people and Chinese people, like it's a lot of respect. Well, actually, mainly any type of Asian culture, to be honest, is with respect.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Like probably that's more higher than affection.
Yeah.
But saying, "Are you hungry?" Saying, "Hey, like, do you need anything right now before I leave?" Like, I think that's their way of saying, "All right, I love you."
Yeah.
You know, because it's not as verbal in, I guess, without people.
100%. What else?
You have a lot more notes than me.
No, I don't have any notes. I don't know what you're speaking of. No, I just.
Oh, actually, because you ranked it a 10 out of 10, I just gotta put this out there. Because if you watched our former episode with Mulan, and we had Elton and Chelsea Robinson on, you were the one that jocked me for the price in Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Not even just. All right, I'm not gonna say the price, but
Just having to buy it off.
Yeah, having to buy it.
The concept of having to buy a platform that you're already subscribed to.
But that was from a movie that we both we weren't the greatest fans of. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the greatest fans of. This movie we've watched twice now.
Yeah.
And like I could probably watch it again.
Yeah. I could probably watch it a few times. It's that good.
Do you judge that of buying it still? Like, what do you think of now? Of
No, I would get it to support the. I know I smashed you on the last one about this, but because it's Southeast Asian and it's like Filipino culture, you want to represent that.
you know what it is?
Also, wait. There's another one. Is Mulan has been done before. Mulan is a classic from when we were younger. Mulan was just a revamped one. Why should we pay for something we already know was going to happen? It's not new. Nothing new.
I mean, it was kind of new.
No. Yeah, but you get what I mean.
You know what I want to say? I think the reason why is because you see a Philo princess now.
Yeah.
Because it's true though. Like it'd be the first Southeast. Because I view her more as
Disney
Philo.
princesses.
And that's the first Philo Disney princess.
Well, I think she's even if she's not Filipino, if she's Southeast Asian, for your future daughters or our future daughters, or like there's someone that they can actually, you know how people were saying the same about Black Panther with with African American African American kids, or who like they have someone to look up to. Now girls that always watch Disney, grew up watching Disney, like Chels, you know, now they have someone growing up, they can be like, I'm Raya, you know, like I can buy the Raya costumes and do that stuff.
You know who I reckon is going to be definitely an influence later on in life. I'm not even going to say like later on in life. It's going to happen sooner or later. People are going to watch this movie, and I don't mean this in a negative way. So Sisu, Awkwafina's character, when she turns into a human, that hairstyle, how it's kind of like whitish purple, I see a lot of Asians going like, oh, I want to do my hair like that.
Right.
You know how like blonde used to be a thing, or it kind
Yeah,
of still is a little bit.
yeah.
Then people
And
started
that's
bleaching
so out of Asian character because we all have black hair.
it. Yeah, yeah.
You reckon a few girls would do that? What do you reckon, Chels? What do you reckon of Sisu's character? Because you were telling me how much you love Sisu.
Do you want to hop on? Oh.
Yeah, move over.
Mm.
Quick. What do you think of Sisu's character? And yeah, speaking of it, look, it just happened then.
Yeah, no, I thought Cece's character was really cool. I really enjoy. She's so different and unique, and I actually like. She's my favorite character. I mean, Raya is amazing, and Namari is amazing, but I think they're just, they're just the typical, they're the typical storyline. Whereas Sisu, they've turned her from a dragon to a normal person. So I thought that was really cool. She's very unique as a person.
Okay. How unique, like, how unique, or not how unique, but like, what do you mean by she's unique? Like, tell us from the movie.
So she's unique. Her characteristics.
Speaking to Mike.
So, like the way she acts, she's very natural. She's very, you can tell, innocent, natural. She reminds me a lot of my dad, and you know how Raya as well kind of says that throughout the movie. Oh, you kind of remind me of my dad, like that. She reminds me of my dad because my dad is a very he's the type that he's a very trustworthy person. So he's the type that he wouldn't lock the doors, or he wouldn't lock the doors. He wouldn't see what could happen if they didn't lock the doors, or he wouldn't see that because he's just and that's what Sisu reminds me of. And I think as people and as a human being, it's nice to see that because we're so caught up in always,
having our guard up.
Yeah, having our guard up, and it's nice to see a bit of that, like just being a genuine. I'm not sure how to describe it. Just that positive vibe, because you can tell, like, when she was telling the story, okay, how should we, where do I look at it? How should we, like when Raya was like, okay, so how are we going to steal the gem? And she was very like, this is the way we should do it. We should go to the castle, offer them food, and then everyone is happily ever after.
Yeah. She was very naive and innocent.
Yeah, she's very, and I think it's nice to see that. Like,
pure. She's pure. That's the word.
She's pure. That's right. I think that's the perfect word for it. Not innocent.
Yeah, pure. She's pure.
It's pure.
Pure heart, soul.
Yeah, because she doesn't see the negative. Like, she trusts everyone, and sometimes it's good to trust people. Like, it's just good to show that as human beings.
Definitely.
Go for it.
Yeah, just to ask you this, because we talked about this before. So, you know how Sisu went to the floating marketplace, right? And you said, like, there was a crazy lady, right? Would you have followed the crazy lady? Because I thought she was innocent, the lady.
At first, when I saw her, remember when she came up to Raya, and she's like, I was like, oh, wow, she was actually really caring, and she reminds me of she reminds me of old grandma. But then no one really stopped her. Like, no one stopped her. So I was like, oh, maybe she's she's the boss, or she's the chief. Like, no one actually was like, oh, go away, old lady, But then I'm just thinking maybe that's just the Asian respect for an older person. But 100%. But when she was walking her, I knew straight away. Like, when she was leading her to somewhere, I was like, oh, where is she gonna take her? Like, that's when I kind of knew that as much as old people can be very cunning and very like smart as well when it comes to those things.
100%.
This question's for both of you guys. Do you feel like Disney is going more towards strong and fierce women? Because you look at the Disney princesses of the past, and I feel like they would get eaten by these women now.
Oh yeah.
But when you look at like the new age
princesses.
the new age princesses. This includes the remake of Aladdin.
Aladdin,
You look at
yeah.
Jasmine.
We're
She
just
was
going
like,
with the
she's-
times.
Yeah, she's like, she ain't a princess. She's a queen now.
Just going
You
with the
know?
times.
Do you feel like Disney is doing a good job there?
I think Disney is doing what Disney should be doing a long time ago. I think they should. I think it's good that they're doing this, and they've realized as a market, like they've not a market. Sorry, that's not the right word.
Yeah, no, I get
They've
you.
realized that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all business at the end of the day.
But they've
They
realized
have
that
realized.
the importance of diversity and culture, and how
All corporations have with diversity inclusion.
yeah, and I think it's good that they've. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how they've kind of realized that, but I think with the way they're going about it, I think it's good because to be honest with you, I was telling Jem back when I was young and I saw so many Disney, like, the Disney princesses I admired. Like my favorite Disney princess was Ariel, and I liked Cinderella, and I like Belle as well, but the whole Disney princess. But my but those were my top 3 Disney princesses. But I remember, but now kids these days they can look up to. They don't have to look up to Raya. They can look up to Sisu. They can look up to. There's so much. They can, and I'm saying that like Raya is a good character as well, but for me personally, I just generally like Sisu because she's very pure and and it's nice to see that in a world full of, especially with what's going on in the world at the moment as well. Like there's so much, it's so easy to dwell on like what could happen, oh, I don't trust this person, but like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. It can just be, you can just trust, and if you don't, I mean, obviously not all the time, but I'm just rambling now because I'm like, I don't, yeah.
What about you, Jem? With the same question.
Yeah, I
What
think
was
I've
the
already-
question again?
okay.
Sorry, I completely like.
No.
Was that the right way?
That was the right. That was
Yeah,
the right
yeah,
way.
yeah.
I think they were doing a good job. Oh, and also the Aladdin, jumping on the Aladdin bit. So I was watching an interview with Naomi Scott, and so Naomi Scott is the actress that played the Disney live action Aladdin. Anyway, so I was watching her interview, and
She played Princess Jasmine.
oh, sorry, Princess Jasmine. Yeah, not Aladdin.
The wine.
I didn't even have wine. We can't even excuse that. But I was watching her interview, and she says it's so important for her to deliver what she would want the future generation to look up to, and it's not a princess and a prince falling in love and living happily ever after. It's more than that. It's who you are as a person, and your individuality, and you're stronger as a person rather than with a prince, if that makes sense. Like, does that make sense?
No, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So what I was referring to that was, so it was so important for her to portray Princess Jasmine as a very empowering and strong, independent woman. That's a leader.
Yeah.
So that's what we have. That's what we have here today. A lot of leaders, and I feel like all the background characters are in their own way. They're leaders. Like for example, when they took the initiative of, oh wow, Raya's in trouble, let's do something to help those people. So they've actually, they've grown from from the first time that Raya met them to how it happened. Do you get me? I don't know how to put that into words.
I think because everyone was so, besides the Asian baby was probably the only one that had people around, had support around her. Everyone else was just alone. You see the boy on the shrimp boat, he was alone. You look at the big, what was that big guy's name? The guy with the eye patch, the big guy. He was by himself in a village all alone. I feel like for me, I wish they fleshed out more, and I get it because there was a lot of characters, but I kind of wish they fleshed out more of him because that's a sad story. He was alone for 6 years in that village by himself, and he's probably every day seeing his wife and his baby in stoned.
Yeah.
Like that's sad. Is it just me, or is there not many male Disney characters anymore? As in like that
Well-
starring, and that's nothing's wrong with that.
Soul.
Oh yeah, Soul. Any other ones
No, I think they're just
besides
but
Lion King?
Sorry, Disney princesses have always been a thing.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean by that. But they're really going to showcase, the Moanas, the Frozen girl,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one. But they're just catering for the, I don't want to say market, but for the demographic that they've got.
That's true.
And that's why they're doing diversity inclusion now. That's why they're doing, instead of, everything's moving towards that way. Because of the, not just because of body corporate, but because that's who's watching. They know we are watching now. We have access to it, and they're not just putting out what the people that are the times of that time. If you get what I mean.
No, I do.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
But yeah.
So, Gem, 10 out of 10?
Yeah, definitely.
How about you, Chelsea? What did you give it? Well, what would you give this movie 10 out of 10 and your reason why?
Yeah, I'd give the movie a 10 out of 10 as well because, I don't know, I just think in general, everything, like if I rate if I don't look at it too much and I just enjoy it and like live in the moment and like view it for, like appreciate it for what it actually, like for what they've, created, I would give it a 10 out of 10 easily. But then, like, I know there's a lot of negative, negative, thing like, going around with how the voices of the characters aren't, they don't represent what the actual character is. Does that make sense? Did I word that correctly? Well, you guys, I feel like you guys aren't even listening to it.
No, we are. It's just taking a while to.
We had one.
No. You
guys
just.
are watching the movie, so but yeah, there's a lot of I know there's a lot of negative thing going around it, but I generally like it. I like how the overall message. My favorite movie, like my favorite Disney movie back then was Moana, when. Yeah, a couple years. That's back then, 2 years ago. But now, this has kind of replaced it. So I don't know. I generally. What about you, PK? Did you like it?
No. I do. I mean, I paid for it, so I do like it.
How much did you pay for it?
Oh, that was like $40.
Was that more than?
I think so.
No, it's the same. Oh,
No,
I think it was a little bit more. I think it was a little bit more. But the reason, I don't know, like, I don't regret paying for it, mainly because it's a good movie. Last time we had the conversation when we were all sitting down and talking about Mulan, a big thing was the price of paying for the movie. But I said it's because the Mulan movie didn't pay off compared to maybe Black Panther, such as this one. If we watched this one, if we did a review, if this was the first movie that we had to talk about with purchasing a movie, I feel like all of you guys would be like, no, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've touched upon the whole concept of what they were doing, that you needed to trust.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
I think we touched on it.
We haven't like really gone into the whole focus of the movie in regards to trust, because Asian culture between different countries growing up, or
Did we talk about that?
no, but we haven't really gone in depth in it. We've grown up to not trust each other, and you're watching it, you're like, oh yeah, that's so true. Like we don't really trust. We should be a very big stronghold we have the biggest population in the world. Like even without China, like we have one of the biggest populations. This region, the Southeast Asian community and region, should be one of the biggest powerhouses in the world. But because of and it's not also our fault. It's been because of the takeovers of history. France in Vietnam, Spain and China and every other country that's gone through, Philippines, all that countries that have gone through, Indonesia. we have lost our in parts we've lost culture as well, and but we have also embraced or taken in other people's culture. But we should be a powerhouse by just coming together, and it all comes with trust. Just like the movie said, Sisu really trusted everyone, anyone and everyone, even though Raya had an experience with what's her name again? I keep forgetting. Yeah, and like it really showcases how we should just Disney takes it in, shows it that it's very easy to just trust each other in that. But then it is, when it comes to the real world, when you asked me that question earlier, do you find it easy to, or how hard do you find it to trust people? We find it very hard. Like in the real world, do you get what I mean? Like when we were watching the movie, you're like, yeah, that just makes sense. You're like, we should trust each other. We shouldn't take more than we need. We are endangering the world by producing everything for humans, and then everyone else around us is being affected. But that's just and then Disney in this movie, Raya, just showcases that we should trust each other, we should do this, we should do that, and you're just like, yeah, that should be in a perfect world. That's how it should. And Disney's always been like in a perfect world.
I get that. No, I can. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, but that's what Disney is all about. Like it just,
Yeah,
it showcases
perfect world. How it should be.
Yeah, how it
the
should
values.
be, and how when we watch it, we feel happy, and that's how it should be. Like that's how it. I don't know.
I think one that both of you have said, but it just popped in my head just then. Sorry. It's because Disney's looking at through a child's eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's
pure.
That's what Sisu represents, and I think that's what Disney likes to portray a lot too.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I mean, like that's
how it should be.
How it should be. It is how it should be.
We start growing up, and we all get these experiences through, even at a young age, and then through adolescence, and then as an adult, that changes your pure self.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think one of my favorite scenes was. There was plenty of different scenes, but one that really got to me, and when I started crying when I first saw it. But it was Namari. It was when Namari first saw Sisu as a dragon for the first time, and I thought that
and
scene
you
really
saw her pure heart.
Yeah, and you saw her pure heart, and then you saw, why, and then because you see that history behind, like, her dream, that connection between Namari and Raya, and, that's their dream, that dragon, Sisu. So, yeah, that was a really emotional scene, and I was like, oh, I feel you. But, yeah, anyways.
What was your favorite scene?
Oh. I don't have a favorite
many.
scene. The whole movie was good. I just love how it highlighted our Southeast Asian culture.
Yeah.
So with everything that's going on in the world, people that are non-Southeast Asian, at least they might not even think, oh, that's Southeast Asian culture. Like they'll just watch it for what it is. They just think it's a movie. They won't think, oh, look at the little symbolism, look at the anise, look at the sticks, look at the food. They don't think of it in depth like that. But it's good for us to see the representation, but it's also good for them to just, at least they see for what it is.
For one great example, look at our dragon in Raya the Last Dragon. That's so different compared to any other dragon you've seen.
Right.
Representation has switched. Like, usually we see them as fire.
In Western culture.
In Western culture, we see them as fire.
Yeah, this
And then
movie
now
showed the
it's water.
opposite.
It's completely opposite.
Yeah.
So is that the Curious Canvas?
Um.
Or anything else you want to touch on?
No. I just think, like I was saying, the representation of Asian culture, and with everything that's going on in the world, and you send it to me all the time in our group chats with issues ongoing with Asian racism and bigotry, especially with coronavirus happening. Even sometimes when we were growing up, I'm not saying like I was affected by racism or anything, but like some people will do this.
Oh yeah.
Or like people have things have happened like that to us, or it's sad to see to the elderly in America. Like, we see heaps of videos. You know what? I thought we thought it was just in America, and then we see all these TikTok videos
In
of
Canada,
that
popping up.
white kid that was calling coronavirus Chinese, blah blah blah. Like, they were going at that restaurant owner in I think in Brisbane or something. But we've seen it everywhere in Australia. But Australia's always been a racist country.
I think I've definitely been affected before as a kid with Asian remarks, but I kind of feel like a lot of Asians have went through it. Maybe it doesn't matter how minimal it is.
Yeah,
I definitely see a lot of Asians going through that.
Yeah.
Different ways in different ways.
But it just takes it up to another level when it's involving the elderly.
Yeah, the elderly, and it goes too far. Yeah. Like, we've all... I went to Patricia Brothers Blacktown, which is it is a roast session every single hour. Like, it is an absolute roast session. So, I never saw it as bullying. I just saw it as like, this is how we talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
But then it comes to a point where outside of that circle, calling people specific names, and not just that, but like really going at them to be hurtful. That's different to just like roasting each other, or spitting at a person, or assaulting them just because of what they look like. That's it is seeing it is hurtful, because that could be our parents.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone. This is the thing that like it probably hurts more with the elderly people. Everyone can relate to having someone that's older than them in their lives. I mean, like, it doesn't matter if it's a parent, it doesn't matter if it's like everyone knows has someone like that's older than them.
Yeah.
And there must be some type of form of respect.
Yeah.
But just the number of people getting assaulted, it's fucking sad to see.
They said in America it has skyrocketed ever since coronavirus. People's true colors are coming out, and they're just... Yeah. I don't know how... I see it. We need to highlight it. We should talk about it, because it's an uneasy conversation. I don't know what there is to do. I'm not going to go, oh, you should stop it. Like, I don't know how that works. I don't know what you could do, but to be able to talk about it and highlight it, and at least this might be on a reel, or it'll be on a direct what do you call it? A Instagram story or highlight. Okay, not highlight, but it will be one of our clips that we'll have, and people can see that we are highlighting it out there, that it is wrong. We wouldn't wish this upon any of our friends' cultures. We wouldn't wish it upon any of our family or friends. We wouldn't even wish upon it on our enemies. Like, just being a racist and a bigot towards someone to that extent. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know. I don't know how you could go out there and then there's like a whatever culture, and you're really targeting them and going out there to assault them. And I think I told you this before, where it's like, even an enemy, like someone I really hate, it would be hard for me to even think to like straight punch him in the face. For me, like, I think of that. It would be hard for me. So what about strangers that are vulnerable and old, and they're going on about that day without even, they're not even, what do you call it? They aren't even in, what's the word? Like, they're not, they're just walking around. They're not conscious of this to happen to them, the person doesn't even come up to them like, they just straight king hit kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no staunching or anything.
No,
there's
nothing.
No warning. I mean, like...
And it's usually younger people doing it to older people.
Yeah, that's just...
Cowards.
100% cowards. I hope they get fed to the boys in police. Like, in jail, man. I just... It's horrible.
I hate that we had to end that on a note like that, but we need...
Thank you for bringing it up, though, because that's...
It's important. That's why it's important that, even if, like, say, for example, Disney... make representation is so empowering and so important when it comes to situations like this, when, the whole...
People are just ignorant.
Yeah, ignorance.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's why, to summarize, that's why this movie is so important, because it's representation, and that's what is life. That's what life's all about.
It can expose other people to these cultures that they think that they know about, like saying, "Oh, you guys are let's not talk about it anymore." But like, it is good to give people exposure, because those people that are like that, they're only narrow-minded because they've been raised
Differently.
like we said at the start of the movie, where we weren't born to be racist. We weren't born to be hateful or spiteful. It was experiences or people older than us telling us these specific people are the way they are.
Yeah.
But we weren't ever
Agree.
born like that. Just like Rhea and what's her name right at the start
And
of
that's
the movie.
why and Sisu.
Yeah, and Sisu. Yeah, she's innocent. She's very pure. But yeah.
But yeah, that was a good episode. Thanks for having me for a bit.
Thanks for jumping on and talking about.
You know, thank you. Oh wait, like before we do end it,
This is the Curious Canvas, and we're gonna be doing this all the time now.
we don't. We need to
We
follow.
need- We need to talk about whatever.
Does
But that looks
anyone
like
know what
please
this
give me some
means?
money and please give me money. Have you
Go understand.
some rice,
Oh,
please?
Some water. Sip some water.
Master, I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate